show, John Cobelt and Ken Champeau. Now it's, what, 62 days since Kelly Thomas was beaten so viciously by those 6 Fullerton cops. Still no charges by Tony Rackauckus, the Orange County DA, claiming, well, we have to wait for the toxicology reports and we have to wait for the official cause of death from the coroner. Well, today there was a press conference held by Ron Thomas, Kelly's dad, and his attorney, Garo Mardirossian, where they displayed, and we have it here, the official report of death from UC Irvine, and it was brain death caused by head trauma. That's what the cause of death was, signed July 10th. And they said there was no alcohol and no narcotics, no prescription drugs in Kelly Thomas's system. So there's your toxicology report. Now, where are the felony charges? Continue here with our interview with Garo Mardirossian. In this specific case, though, it's so obvious what happened. It's so obvious to anyone who's watched this case that these guys need to be charged. Who's Rackauckus afraid of here? Is he getting calls from somebody saying, don't do this?
Oh, I think he's afraid of law enforcement in general in all of Southern California, specifically Orange County.
What are they going to do to him?
Like I said, he's got to deal with them. He's a public official that goes up for election. The last thing he needs is for the police union to say, we don't endorse you.
Oh, the police union? Because he prosecuted Fullerton police officers who did this to Kelly Thomas?
Bingo.
That's what happened? Are you serious? That's how bad it is?
Well, how many officers has he ever prosecuted?
The only report we said was gun-involved shootings, and the answer is 0. I don't know about beatings.
I don't know of any.
Yeah, I don't know either. No. The only one who's commented on that is Ron Thomas, and he says it's 0.
Well, there you go. So why doesn't the DA's office come forward and tell us how many they've actually prosecuted, so we'll have some confidence in their neutrality? It just seems like every time a police officer is accused of wrongdoing, they exonerate him, and they don't file charges.
The police unions think that the cops ought to get away with murder.
Well, we all know they shouldn't, and we all know that most cops are good people doing hard work.
Right, but if they're so good...
2 rogue cops cross the line, and we've got to make an example of them so that the good cops, their badges are not tarnished by the bad cops.
But if the good cops are so good, then why wouldn't they support Rackauckus filing charges?
Well, they would if, the big if they stop, circle the wagons, and just break that code of silence, which is so hard for them to break.
Why? Garo, let me ask you this, and the contention, obviously, since you've been on this case and the Thomas family, what were we actually talking about in terms of the Kelly Thomas beating? Well, the worst blows were from the butt end of the taser? Is that the contention? And then the taser shots to the chest?
I think the taser shots are important only in that they were torturing him. They tasered him in the back and the flank. They tasered him in the chest, where the taser manufacturer specifically warns against tasering in the chest. Then they pulled on their trigger on no less than 6 separate occasions. Each time they pull on that trigger, they send 5 seconds of 50,000 volt capacity, many amperages of electricity through the body, completely paralyzing the individual. And it's very painful. They kept doing that to him even after he stopped moving.
How many cops tasered him?
We believe at least 2 taser guns were used because, again, you were shot in the back and in the front, and at least 1 taser gun was used, the butt of, to smash Kelly's head.
Are you filing a civil suit anytime
we will absolutely be filing one, but we have already filed one in the Veth Mam case, which is a sister case to this, because the same department and one of the same officers at least is involved. On Kelly Thomas's case, the case is not yet ripe to be filed.
What is this other case?
We are very much anticipating a decision by the DA's office soon, so we can move forward as far as the civil case is concerned.
Can you imagine a scenario where Rackauckus holds a press conference and says, no charges? Can you imagine how he would explain that?
I imagine he would explain, as he's already explained, that there does not seem to be enough evidence of a specific criminal intent. Now, if he says that again, after showing him these pictures, after showing the bones. It's not just one bone. It's not just two bones. It's a multitude of bones in the face that were broken. And it's a bone that's so deep in the skull, the ethmoid plate, that when you touch the tip of your nose, it's about 2 inches deep into your skull. And they hit him so hard that they broke that bone. And the only thing that separates that bone from your brain is a thin layer of skull tissue. And so they beat him mercilessly. They tortured this young man. And then they broke his ribs. And then they tased him. He had blood coming out of everywhere.
So it seems like
much blood that he drowned and suffocated to death in his own blood. And the suffocation is what caused the anoxia, or the deprivation of oxygen to his brain.
Oh, my God. You think it was one cop with one butt end of a taser, or there's a couple of cops hitting him with the butt end of the taser?
I think the evidence thus far from witness testimony or witness observations is that only one officer, one rogue cop, was using the butt of a taser to smash Kelly in the head. Now, there were numerous officers striking him, and we believe one or two of the officers had nothing to do with striking him, but they did not intervene, which isn't appropriate, but we're willing to forgive those officers. Just come forward and tell us the truth and identify the bad cops, and let's watch that videotape. Why have they not yet turned over the videotape, and what's the explanation?
There is none.
Yeah, and then...
It's part of the cover-up.
Well, you know, when's the last time that the police turned over videotapes, surveillance videotapes to 6 criminals and had them watch it before they asked them what happened? What the police do, they take 6 criminals, they separate them, they get statements from each, and then they compare them. They don't show them videotapes, and yet these cops are not being treated like the suspects they are. They're being treated like, you know, basically like people that ought to get away with the crime.
And he had been on the streets. He had been on the streets of Fullerton for years. It was known to them that he had schizophrenic problems, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and you know, the most important part of the story is that Kelly was not afraid of officers. He trusted police. His father was a cop. His grandfather was a cop. His great-grandfather was a cop. His uncle was a cop. He had cops all around him. So he trusted these people. The people he trusted ended up beating him to death. So when they started hitting him, he was completely confused. You know, here's a young man who is mentally handicapped that trusts cops, and they turn on him and they beat him mercilessly. He's heard crying out, "Dad, Dad, Dad." He's heard crying out, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." And yet they didn't stop. They kept beating him.
They're contending he was combative, resisted arrest, fought with them.
Well, I can tell you there's not any evidence of that. And even if he did at some point struggle, who wouldn't when you're being tased and you're being smashed in the face?
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't try to run away.
It's reflex. You have to fight back to try to preserve your life. I mean, if somebody's attacking you that viciously, of course you'd fight back and try to protect your life.
Somebody hits me, I'm going to try to get away or hit him back. I'm not going to sit there and take it. So if 2, 3, 4 cops start beating the hell out of him, I wouldn't blame him if he tried to take a swing at one of them if he could. But there's no evidence of that. And even if he did, I mean, 2 officers are more than enough to bring down a Kelly Thomas. 6 of them weighing over 1,500 pounds with all the armor they have on them and all the weapons they have on them. They should have had no trouble putting cuffs on Kelly Thomas.
Do you think he was set up?
I'm sorry?
Do you think he was set up?
Well, I don't know if I would go that far. I know there's some contention that the local business people did not want the Kelly Thomas types in the area because it wasn't good for business, and that they supposedly maybe put a call in suggesting that there were illegal activities when there really wasn't. And that's another point. Why haven't we heard from a single victim of Kelly Thomas that night? Why haven't we heard from a burglary suspect or somebody who would have thought their car was being broken into that supposedly put that call in? There is no such person. And why haven't we heard more about the 2 officers that supposedly broke their bones trying to bring down this combatant?
Yeah, that was the early story.
Because that was a lie.
Got hurt.
All that stuff about burglarizing cars and cops getting their bones broken were all lies from that, what was his name, that spokesman?
No, the Fullerton Police Department guy?
Yeah.
Sullivan or
Goodrich?
Goodrich.
Yeah, he was a liar. You see, he just lied over and over again, knowing that the Orange County Register would reprint the lies.
All right, Garo, we got to go, but we thank you for talking to us. We'll have you on again soon.
Thank you.
All right, that was our interview from earlier in the show with the attorney for the Thomas family. That's Garo Mardirossian. And we'll be hearing more from him. We'll see what happens at the Orange County DA. Maybe someday. Check your calendars.
What's the new excuse?
Maybe by Christmas we'll have a decision.
We don't have a cause of death. Waiting for the toxicology report. No, UC Irvine already did that. So what's the problem here?
All right, toll-free number 1-800-520-1534.
On the John and Ken Show, KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio.